to Mayor Strickland, all the pastors, the honorees, Squire Bailey, other elected officials, Happy, Donna Sue, everybody that's here, Judy, the whole board, all the honorees, and you that are here. This is a special day set aside by the United States Congress and the work of John Conyers, who came to Memphis 4 days after the assassination of Dr. King. 5 days after Dr. King spoke from this particular location. And John Conyers, 4 days after the assassination, said Dr. King's birthday needs to be a holiday. And it took until 1983 for it to be a holiday. But Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a holiday in America. It's a holiday to celebrate a man who was our better angel. A man who spoke at the Riverside Church 1 year before his assassination, almost to the day, and talked about the three evils that America faced: racism, militarism, and economic exploitation. This is a day we need to remember what Dr. King was about and why he came to Memphis. He came to Memphis because of a strike by sanitation workers who weren't recognized as a union and who weren't been given a livable wage. Happy Jones was part of that. There were others here that were part of that and saying that was wrong. Dr. King is not just about a holiday. It's far from that. It should be about a way that we look at the world. Now, 8 years ago, almost to the day, Dr. King's holiday was on January 19th. It was the day before Barack Obama became the first African-American president of the United States. It was not the culmination of Dr. King's dream. It was a continuation, and Barack Obama has continuously said that. We in public life, all of us in life, have a spot in history to move things forward, but it's only a spot to become a more perfect union, and we're still working at becoming a more perfect union. But at this time in our history, hope and change has unfortunately become fear and dread. The dream is turning into a nightmare. For the man who will be inaugurated as the 45th President of the United States, repudiated Barack Obama from the beginning of his presidency, questioning his legitimacy, saying he wasn't born in this country, therefore he shouldn't be and was not legally the President of the United States of America. That was racism, and it was a lie, and it was fake news, and it was wrong. And he continued with that same vein, saying that Vladimir Putin, who was one of the meanest, cruelest people in power in the world, was a greater leader than Barack Obama. And they tried to explain it by saying they didn't mean as a person, that he wasn't as good a person as Barack Obama, but he was a greater leader. Your values speak to your leadership, and what you do with your leadership speaks to your values and what you are. And if you're for evil and for killing and for stopping on democracy and stopping on people who speak out and not allowing people to express themselves, you are not a great leader. You are an evil leader. This president said John McCain was not a hero. He said so much about Muslims and Mexicans and immigrants that was despicable, and about people with disabilities that was despicable. And he continues that. He takes a woman on named Meryl Streep, who's one of the great actresses of all time and a saint in many people's eyes, and condemns her on Twitter. Well, his 140 characters probably can't get the word in junior, because for the first time today, and the only time today, he recognized
the holiday as Dr. Martin Luther King Day, not Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, because he probably has no knowledge of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and he certainly doesn't understand what he was about. Because if you knew what he was about, you wouldn't nominate Jefferson Beauregard Sessions to be the Attorney General of the United States. And you wouldn't have a Chief of Staff, Prince Rebus, or Rich Priebus. He's the prince to the king, who would say that John Lewis should not question this election because he was for voting rights. And because he was for voting rights, he shouldn't question the election of this president. The Republicans have done nothing for voting rights. They've put photo ID in the way of voting. They've closed voting precincts. They've limited election days. They've limited hours. They've not allowed college kids to vote. They've done nothing for voting rights. And to use that as a way to question John Lewis is hypocritical and wrong.
That's right.
I have a decision to make, or I had a decision to make on whether or not to attend the inauguration. I would love to attend the inauguration. I'm a member of Congress through your votes. Thank you. The tie I have on today is from the White House shop. I value our government. I appreciate it greatly. This president, semi-elect, does not deserve to be president of the United States. He has not exhibited the characteristics and the values that we hold dear, that Dr. King holds dear, that John Lewis holds dear. And when he questioned John Lewis, that crossed the Rubicon. I sat on the floor of the House with John Lewis to protest the inability of the Republican Congress to give us a vote on gun violence. I sat with John Lewis. I will stand with John Lewis. I will not be attending the inauguration. The president needs to become presidential. Thank you very much.